got a job from a client that's just come in today, and simple job, just pressing these two bearings into this unit. Now they do take a little bit of pressure to push in, so it's not just finger pressure. Now I've got one of these 20-ton Sealy press. You've seen that on the channel. Well, I'm not going to use that. I'm going to use what's in this box here. So let's get this open, take a look, and see if it will actually do the job. Well, hi, welcome back, Mike Makes It. It's really a very quick video about what's in this box. It's a 1-ton Arbor Press AP1000. Part number is 7615175. It's from Machine Mart. It's a Clarke branded item. I've had Clarke before, and on the whole, they're pretty good. They're made to a price, of course, like most stuff comes from China, because I'm pretty sure this is where this item's been made. Vivo would be my first choice, but sadly, they haven't got any in stock at the minute. Little book of words, which is looks like one sheet of paper. Don't think we're going to need too much there though. Allen key, handle with a gear, and a bit of plastic spacer. So put that down there gently. Get rid of the polystyrene, and there it is. The standard Clarke blue, although it looks a different colour blue than normal, but never mind. It ain't the colour I bought it for. It's the actual item. So let's get the box out of the way. There you go. Got a little bit of grease on it to stop it rusting, which is great. There we have it. Now, I'm pretty sure this comes out of well, probably the same factory in China, but it's branded different manufacturers. You can see the web on here. You look online, there's half a dozen that look identical to that. But yeah, I'm going to get it assembled, which shouldn't take too long, I don't think. I think it'll simply push that through, a couple of grub screws, and Bob's your uncle. Then we can have a closer look. Right, okay, loosely put it together. We're going to take it apart because there's a few things I want to show you, but here's some basic measurements for you. From about where the ram comes down, this is a ram, and that's almost 24 mil square. Some of the smaller ones and cheaper ones are less of a body there. This is nice and chunky. It's almost an inch square. But from the back of the throat here to the center of the ram, we've got about 115 millimeters. The ram stroke, which was important to me, because, for instance, I've got to get this in, I've got to get a bearing in, I've got to get a socket to press the bearing in. I had to make sure there was enough depth there. Now, I'm measuring 126, but the ram won't fully go up, so it's over 120 millimeters. The spec says 118. At a push, you could lift that off, and depending on what you wanted to press, you'd actually end up with over 140 millimeters. But in my case, this should work fine. It spins round. You've got different orifices here, different sizes, depending on what you want to. You might be wanting to press something out and not press something in. So it's quite versatile. And also, what you can do, we could put a steel plate just to sit on there, if need be, just to suit what you were doing at the time. But this should be fine for me, because all I need to do is to sit that device in there, put a bearing on the top, put a socket on the top of that, and simply let the ram down. It's 1-ton capacity. I can't measure that. However, I'll go with what it says, 1-ton capacity. A few little twiddly bits up here. You can see there's 2 bolts at the front, 2 bolts at the side. Now that's just to take play of the ram out. Easy enough done. 13 mil socket or spanner. You wind those bolts in until it just starts touching on the side of the ram to take out any movement left to right. A couple more here, which are probably slightly more important, because you want it to mesh well with the handle mechanism. I'm not sure what you want to call that. This is a ram, and you've got the handle and the gear that meshes with this. It's almost like a steering wheel, not steering wheel, how the column works, rack and pinion. That's the word I'm trying to use. So you've got the rack here, and the pinion is the handle, effectively, if you spoke about it in car terms. This little thing I'm taking off now stops the pinion, if we call it that, the thing with the handle, sliding out. Real plastic, well, it is plastic. I may swap that over to a metal one. There's lots of little improvements I could do with this. I'll run through a couple. I'm going to pull the pinion out. And as I say, that may not be the right name, so don't quote me on that, but that's what we call it today. I can pull a pinion out, then I can get the ram out. Behind these two bolts, there's a little shim, and that'll press against the body of this without scraping it. There's not a shim in this position, but the shim is so small, it could slide out the back here. It really is just a thin piece of steel. So we got that out. Now you should be able to lift this out, and this is where the shim will disappear. There you go. There's the shim. And the idea of this, as you screw the bolts in, it presses against this piece of steel, which in turn presses against the ram. It's captive after a fashion because there's a little pocket in the back of this plate, but it's so thin, that's probably only a mil thick. It might slip out. I may swap that over to a thicker piece. It feels like spring steel. Now I don't know if I've got any of that material, but that's not the point. I may put a bigger piece of or thicker piece of steel in there just to stop any possible binding going on if you try to get out the back of the ram and the housing. As with most of these products, they come straight off the factory line. They're not cleaned. They got very sharp edges. So what I shall do is grease this up. We're going to stick some grease on there just to reduce wear. Likewise on the other surfaces of the ram. I may just deburr a few sharp edges on there. There certainly are some here, so that'll get deburred. But I'm going to get some isopropanol in a bit, give it a thorough wash down. Well, that's very sharp. Deburr there, degrease, re-grease, keep the rust at bay, and that's probably all I'm going to do. Apart from the original purpose of buying this is to press those bearings in. So I'll press one in now, make sure it works to my desire, and if it does, crack on with all the others after I've degreased and cleaned this up. But yeah, right, okay, let's put it back together and get a couple of bearings pressed. Rightio, all back together, not degreased or anything yet. I just want to slide one or two bearings in here and make sure it does the job. And if it does, I'll strip the whole press down, degrease it, clean it up, and I'll go on and do the original job I've started, and that's pressing the bearings in. That's the whole reason for buying the press in the first place. But I've got plenty of distance here. That's probably another 30, 40 mil there. So I should work quite well. So I know my hand's getting in the way a bit there. We line that up and see if we got a 1-ton press. It does bolt down at the back, which could be handy. It looks if it tried to tip over then. If I put my hand there. Right, that's bearing number one. Slight reposition that. Well, there you go. That's made a lovely job of that. Probably would pay for me to bolt it down at the back because you can pull a handle out like that. I'm not sure if that's quite coming out on camera, but it's got quite a long handle there with a screw adjustment so you can alter the position. What I would have liked to have bought is a ratchet in one of these, but that was quite a bit more money. But I think for the purpose I bought it for, it'll be absolutely ideal. So yeah, anyhow, that is the Clarke. I'll read the number off the side. It's a Clarke model AP1000. Part number is 76157175. It's their version of a 1 ton Arbor Press. I believe they do half a ton. I'm not sure if they do a higher one, but you can get them in different brands and they 3 tons. So you've got a whole range from half a ton upwards. But this is from Machine Mart and it costs around about £85 with next day delivery. So not too bad for what it is. As I say, it's made down to a price, but it does the job. So I'm very happy. Anyhow, thanks for watching Mike Makes It.